Hello, and welcome back to Hagan's New Jersey PIP Tips, where we bring you monthly segments on New Jersey automobile personal injury protection, otherwise known as PIP. Well, it's been a fantastic fall so far with some beautiful, beautiful weather the last 4 weeks. We're starting to finally feel a little bit of that cold temperature just the other day, along with some of those storms that often roll in this time of year. But again, it's been fantastic. This month, we're going to be talking about a recent conference that I attended with the Insurance Council of New Jersey, talking about the PIP fee schedule. They also had 2 representatives for the governor's race, which the election's next month. We'll talk a little bit about that. I'll update you on the GEICO Class Action suit. We have our featured provider of the month, Synergy Pharmacy. And then finally, we'll pick our new winner. So let's get right to it. While trying to stay updated on New Jersey PIP, and particularly the potentially upcoming PIP fee schedule, I recently attended the Insurance Council of New Jersey annual meeting and conference. And the focus this meeting was the draft proposal of the New Jersey PIP fee schedule, and they also had 2 representatives for the candidates who are running for governor. As I try to make these meetings to hear from the insurance industry and their representatives, their vendors, their attorneys as to what they see and which direction PIP's headed and what they believe is interpretations, etc. So this was an interesting one in that it was about this pre-draft proposal of the PIP fee schedule. Now, I'll start out by saying I think it's clear it's not going to happen anytime soon, partly because we're in a election race where the governor's seat is up for election along with all the seats of assembly. So it's probably not going to happen in this lame duck period, this final segment of the year. Although the proposal comes from Dobie, I don't think there's going to be a hard push nor the time to get it proposed, and that's kind of what the representatives were saying. We hope it should be coming shortly because it's well overdue. The current one is outdated. It's last updated or took effect 2013, created probably around 2009. One time before, even though they're supposed to do it every 2 years, one time before, approximately 2015, I'm going to guess. They floated a pre-draft proposal then, got so much pushback that it died, and it's been sitting and nothing's being done since. So the insurance industry, or at least the council, was very receptive to the fee schedule. They didn't think it was perfect, but they appreciated and liked a lot of things that were proposed. The biggest thing is putting 6,000 new codes on the fee schedule, and particularly bringing in the spinal surgeries onto the fee schedule. So this would eliminate a lot of arguments over the rates, usual, customary, and reasonable, also known as UCNR, and hopefully result in less arbitrations for them. In addition, the fee schedule, including all these new codes, went up anywhere from generally 10 to 30% according to them. Although some codes actually went down, and they tried to say, well, the relative value unit has gone down for things such as diagnostics, that it's cheaper today than it was 10, 15 years ago. I'm not sure if that's accurate. They were appreciative that the department brought in Fair Health and that they were basing the fee schedule on paid fees. What wasn't discussed by the group that was presenting, that in addition to paid fees, though, it's paid fees based on in-network rates. So it's not the gross paid fees for providers within the region. They did express concern about that Fair Health only does it by zip code and can't differentiate just from north to south, and therefore, towns up in the north might be right next to one another but have significantly different values, which wouldn't get reflected, and likewise in the south. They also indicate the dental fee schedule went up down about 10 to 20%. So somehow it's less expensive to get dental treatment from 15 years ago. I'm not sure if that's accurate or true, or if it's just the database that they're relying on. One of the areas that went up significantly was home health care and ambulatory, going up about 100 to 300%. And this was interesting in that they were appreciative. The one spokesperson who was from NJM was appreciative, said, you know what, this is needed because the prices were so low that they had trouble obtaining the services. They couldn't get anybody to go into the homes to provide those services because the rates were so low. Yet at the same time, they wanted to argue for cutting rates on physician fees, conservative care, without understanding or acknowledging, actually disputing that it might drive providers out of the practice. So on the one hand, they agreed that, rates too low results in not being able to get services, but yet they want to cut other rates and not believe that it could drive providers out of the practice in New Jersey. They indicate that there was a modest increase on the fee schedule for DMEs between 10 and 20%, that the daily maximum went from 105 to 145. Again, they were overall appreciative, but they were still looking for some pushback with the department and things that they're going to try to get included in the eventual proposal and approval. One of the things that came up by one of the speakers who was a vendor was saying one of the ways they could control cost is by trying to get more voluntary networks, which is basically making people go in network, otherwise getting a 30% copay penalty, particularly for conservative care. So right now they currently have some networks for diagnostics, for medications, surgery centers, but the typical doctor, whether it's a chiropractor, a physician, pain management doctor, surgeon, aren't required to be in network and don't face a penalty if they're not. So that was a little surprising and shocking on my behalf. They're going to continue to work and try to get influence in the department, and I understand their association on behalf of the insurance carrier. I'll just remind the providers, the consumers, the patients, the attorneys also, to get their voice heard, both with the Department of Banking and Insurance in the pre-draft, but also and most definitely when the proposal finally comes out. We have to read it, address it, raise concerns where necessary, support where there should be. We're going to have a lot more included on the fee schedule, and potentially including so that it can be updated more regularly as required by law every 2 years, and make it more streamlined so it's easier for them to update it, particularly with cost of living increases. I don't think anyone could say anything has gotten cheaper in our country over the last decade, whether you're talking about your groceries, power sources, real estate, everything's gone up, including the cost of medical care. So on one point, they mainly focus on keeping costs down, but number one priority is getting the proper treatment and getting people better. So it was great to be part of it. They were gracious enough to allow me to attend, and it was informative. And as always, I appreciate sharing ideas and thoughts and becoming educated. Additionally, they had two speakers on the behalf of the candidates. Unfortunately, the candidates couldn't be there because they had the debate that night, which has already happened. And hopefully you watched and learned a little bit about the candidates. But on behalf of Cheryl, they had State Senator Joe Lagana, who spoke on her behalf and the issues that they're focused on. And then on behalf of Jack Citarelli, it was Assemblyman Weber. They both did a nice job talking about the concerns of each candidate, what they stand for, and where they're going. So I'll remind you, the election is coming up next month, so pay attention, learn about these candidates, and don't forget to do your civic duty and vote, no matter who your candidate that you support. Next, this kind of rolls partly into one of the things that came up during the conversation at the Insurance Council. Was they were talking about how to save the premiums, by restricting cost and, not reducing what they're paying the doctors because of policies being exhausted. They ignored the point, although they acknowledged it, was that, as they said, about 50% of the policies currently are limited PIP policies of $15,000. They didn't discuss why that phenomenon is happening, as opposed to what it used to be. 90% was the standard 250, and only a small percentage was limited. And it was interesting because there was a spokesperson who was leading the meeting from GEICO, and they acknowledged that, man, all these policies, so we got to reduce these costs because, one of the things they talked about is hospital bills and whether they're going to be under the fee schedule and emergency care, etc. And saying that, often those limited policies get exhausted very quick. I think the bigger problem is that we have these limited $15,000 policies, and that's why I'm participating in the class action lawsuit against GEICO that I've been talking about, because they're the biggest writers of these limited PIP policies, and in my opinion, they're doing it improperly without consumers being informed. Unfortunately, a little over a month ago, month and a half, 2 months, maybe now, probably 2 months now, we were in federal court. They filed a summary judgment motion, and after a year of sitting on the docket, the court granted the summary judgment motion in front of GEICO. So they dismissed our case. We have since filed notice of appeal. We have a scheduling order where we have till middle of November to file our briefs and explain that, one, we had disputed facts in our case that the judge ruled on, which isn't appropriate for summary judgment, but also that the judge got the law wrong on several issues where GEICO's improperly not obtaining a coverage selection form during the application process as required by law, and only trying to, what I call, dummying up a coverage selection form in part after they already insured the person. So again, I'll keep you updated. If you do know anybody who has these GEICO PIP policies of $15,000, they've been exhausted, please reach out to me, talk to me, and let me know their situation so we can find out if they were properly informed of their options, were provided the proper and necessary coverage selection form, and whether they actually signed it knowingly and willingly and actually got to make the option on the form as required by law. So if you know of anyone, reach out. You can reach me by either email, Sean@SeanHaganLaw.com, or or call me at 732-722-2911. This is an important issue. I will keep you advised. Hopefully we're successful at the appellate division. Again, we're in federal court, so hopefully we can get it reversed and at least get it to go to trial, and find out what's actually happening and let a jury decide, is this proper, is it not? And in my opinion, it's clearly improper, and we'll keep pushing for it and be in touch with the Department of Banking and Insurance of the process that GEICO is currently using, and perhaps some other carriers. So next, I want to talk about, and I'm sorry if this is going long, our featured provider of the month. So last month, 2 months ago, since we didn't have a video last month, we had selected Synergy Pharmacy. They are as you can see here from their website, they're a premier pharmacy specializing in workers' compensation and auto injury, otherwise known as PIP in most states, claims in the Mid-Atlantic region, particularly New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. They provide services to the patient, to the physicians, and to the attorneys representing those patients. They ship medications directly to the patient. There's no upfront cost. They ship for free. They handle the prior authorization if needed, the billing and the collecting of the bills from the insurance carriers. Again, there's no upfront cost. You don't have to pay it upfront and hope you get reimbursed. They'll take that risk and do the work to get that medication paid. They do e-prescribing, whether you have a physical prescription or whether it's get e-prescribed. If you'd be interested in their services, either as a patient, as a physician, or an attorney, you can contact them at 484-328-4700, or you can go to their website at synergyscripts.com and go to the contact page and make an electronic submission to them. They do an awesome service in providing any and all types of medications that get written by physicians, and work with the patients, work with the doctors, work with the attorneys to make sure the proper medication is getting to the patients as needed. So thank you and congratulations, Synergy Pharmacy. We've been working together for several years now, and I continue to look forward to working with you. So as you know, each month, if you have any kind of correspondence, communications with my law firm, we enter you into the drawing and we can pick you out to be the featured provider of the month, as you just saw. Any type of communications, faxes, telephone calls, emails, stopping in, any type of communications will enter you. If you don't win this month, there's always next month, so keep those communications coming. I look forward to seeing you, being with you, talking to you, communicating with you in any way. So this month's winner is South Orange Chiropractic. Congratulations, South Orange Chiropractic. We'll be in touch to feature you in our next month's video. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. I'm about to head out, taking my mom to visit my son in Nashville, Tennessee at Belmont University. And we're getting a great pleasure to see Andrea Bocelli for the first time. So we're looking forward to it. If you found this video helpful, please click the links below. And as always, if you'd like, please subscribe. We're never too busy for your kind New Jersey PIP and personal injury referrals. We hope to see you soon. Thank you and God bless.